Welcome, guys, to Balls Deep Episode Three's interview with Omran Chaaban, an Ultimate Fighter contender this season, and a very just amazing, intricate submission artist, finisher, fighter. Omran, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good, brother. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Omran, my first question to you about the Ultimate Fighter is, how was your experience at the house?
Yeah, it was different, man. Like you're living with 16 guys, professional fighters, eight in my weight class. I know I'm gonna fight them, and you get close with people very fast because like there's no phones, so you have to socialize. You share stories. You cut weight at the same time. You train with the guys, so it's very different.
And how was training under Alexa Grasso? I mean, the champ. That must have been a great experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like we had 4 weeks to train, but like it's great, but you have so much going on. You have your fight soon, like in a couple of days, and then the next one, and it's like everything is crazy. You have to cut weight, but the team is great. I love Grasso's team. Lopez was there, Colin, and like everybody else, like Gabby, Jordan. Everybody was great, man. I was so blessed to be in that team.
So, you have a pretty good team with Alexa Grasso, Diego Lopez helping out. And obviously, you as a fighter is a part of the team. It's you. Coming from that background of Cage Warriors and UAE Warriors, did you feel like ready for this level of competitiveness at Ultimate Fighter?
Definitely, like if you look where I fought, it's all like good organizations. I never fought like local, and I always like my last couple of fights were got very good guys. I won the title against very experienced guys, 8-1, just about to go to the UFC. In MMA Junkies list, he was the next one to go to the UFC after my fight. But you know, 5-1 guy comes from Ireland, Finland, and gets him in the fifth round. And man, I'll be honest with you, I'm very comfortable competing with anyone in my division. So for me, it was just like, let's go. They called me after my fight, and I was like, I just did 5 rounds. It's 1 month. Like I didn't even have time to like fully recover from the fight. I just jumped, but like I was like, I'm 23. I'm going to the bigger weight class. Why not? Let's just do it.
And I got to talk about your Anaconda choke. You know, you have two wins at Cage Warriors by the Anaconda choke, and now you won this Ultimate Fighter fight, your first one at least, by Anaconda. When did you learn that this was your move?
Man, I practiced front headlock like from way back, and then me and Chris went load of sequences, and I just like if you ask people who roll with me, like they know, like I submit people like in a round like almost 10 times with the same thing, or like I have different things I haven't shown you in the fight. Maybe you will see it in the future, hopefully. But like, it just yeah, it just suits me, and I've been doing it long time, man.
Is there any fighter that you look up to?
Uh, Fighter to look up to, man. One guy I was looking like not up to, but like I like this guy, from way back. I didn't change a little bit. Like first of my career, I was looking up to Adesanya. I love his style, I love his striking style, and now when I'm like becoming more like full MMA guy, I'm loving like Islam, Habib, the style that they grind people in the grappling, I love Islam how he submits people, and I love Diego Lopez, man. His like submission attempts, submissions are crazy. He goes for everything. He goes jars like crazy. And these guys, like, I love these guys. Watching these guys, they have like me and Diego Lopez, like we search for submissions all the time. So when I saw him there, and he came there to train, and he was look, oh, like you like this jokes as well. I was like, yeah, and then he showed me a couple of things, and I was like, oh, this is great, man. Like have someone to just connect with him.
And how was that? Like learning with him, sparring with him. Was that like an experience you didn't think you'd be able to have when you got to the house?
I never thought about it. Like he's very humble, man. Like everybody in that, like Grasso is very humble. I always said to her, like for a champion, you're like humble. Like, she's so humble, man. So good human. Like we were cutting weight, she comes with us to cut weight. Like be honest with you, like she doesn't need to, because everybody was cutting, but like she's there. The team is always there. Lopez, was fighting in 300 like 5 days before, and he was holding pads like to me, and like I was like, this guy is great, like big respect, and yeah, it's great, man, to have that.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a big like family environment with that with the team
Yeah,
Grasso from what we've seen on the show. What's what's coming up for you on the show? Like you won your first fight. Do you know when your next episode's coming out?
I actually don't know when the episode is coming out. Like it's we don't have any dates, but hopefully soon. Like it's one of the first semi-final fights.
What's next for you?
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Are you excited about the UFC? Like where you could go? What weight class you're gonna fight at?
Yeah, like obviously I went middleweight, but and the like most of the guys in that season is proper middleweights, and I'm a welterweight. So like in the UFC, I wanna be a welterweight. That's my weight class. I'm a big welterweight. I feel like in welterweight I can be the champion in welterweight division.
And what's something that you think you've learned the most after the Ultimate Fighter?
I think understand people. Like I always been good at understanding people, but it's like you live in 14 different nations, and it's like, bro, it's so different because different culture, people do different things, and you're like, okay, like I get like how people like some people think this way and this way, and you think you seen it all, but then it's like so much like new stuff comes out, and you're like, oh, okay, like there's so many different people how they think, like it's not all the same, and you get to train with loads of guys, different styles. Everybody was different style. You see the coaches how they do, like they coach different. Like my coach coaches me totally different. So imagine you go to like Ultimate Fighter, and like your 4 weeks they coach you different. Everything, like you just need to adapt. And like I think this is important. You need to adapt. I love my team. I love having Chris in my corner and everything. We have like good connection, and you have to just adapt because like I can't have my team, so I just need to adapt. So yeah, adapting and knowing people, so much, man, so much.
And the Ultimate Fighter is interesting for anyone that doesn't watch. You know, you have your team at first and you have your group and you're with them until the tournament starts. And now you see you're fighting your best friend. How was that for you? How was that weird kind of friends to enemies kind of thing? Probably not enemies, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, like even fighting from the other team, like my first time with the Russian guy, like I prayed with the guy, first couple of days. I didn't know we are gonna fight, and like everybody was laughing, but I told this guy. So I'm gonna tell you a story. I never told anyone. I told a couple of guys, but not in a camera. So we were doing medicals first week in Vegas, so we were in a hotel, but we're not allowed to speak to people. And we go into the medicals, and there's like always like 7, 8 fighters, and like sometimes we speak, sometimes not. But like the producer was like, "Don't speak too much," and then we're like, "Okay." And I see this guy, Russian guy, Dagestani guy, and I was like, "It's praying time." I'm Muslim, and he's Muslim. I see him, like, I know from his face. And I'm like, brother, you want to pray? And he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. When I said that, obviously I meant it, but like, I thought the guy was featherweight. I'm not even joking. I thought he was 145er. This was before they announced the names. So in my head, I was like, yeah, like, it's not too bad to say to him, you want to pray, because like he's featherweight. So it doesn't matter. He's not going to say. And then next day, the like we still have our phones, and the list comes up, and I was like, this is like a mistake or something. This guy is not middleweight, like in the middleweight. And then it comes up, he's in the opposite team, and I'm like, okay. I thought this guy was a featherweight all the time. Like I didn't. Obviously, I'm not gonna say it to him because like it's fucking. Yeah, I don't want to be that mean, but it's not even mean, man. It's just like I actually thought he's a featherweight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and then you end up fighting him.
Yeah,
Which
imagine,
that
crazy.
well, and the fight was a good fight. He was kind of winning, kind of keeping standing his ground early, and then
Man, good grappler, good wrestler. And man, I had to make twice weight. Like, I know he's not cutting that much weight. I was cutting like more, but like, man, in 5 days I had to make 2 times weight. For me, I'm a big guy. Even it's not in my division, but still, I definitely felt it.
Yeah, you do have that bigger frame, especially for those lighter weights.
Yeah.
When did you know you had that fight in the bag? Like you had the anaconda choke in, but then you kind of do that spin. Is that when you like know like
Man, I know if I have your neck in a way, it's over. Like you're not going out. Like I can spend 4 minute 30 there. I'm still gonna finish you. Like in that time frame, I'm gonna take my time, but I'm gonna finish you. Like I know when I have it. Like I knew this guy's good. I knew the first one is gonna be like after a minute of the first time when he took me down. I wasn't like, I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling well. I was taking antibiotics. I felt horrible. So I was like, in my game plan, I was like, I'm just gonna literally after a minute, I was like, I'm not gonna even defend anymore. I was like, just wait till the second round. Like, I will show you what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
And I know nobody can keep a pace up, you know. And I know, like, I always like have like, doesn't matter what. I have a good cardio, so I was like, just wait for the second round. And I know when I landed that knee, I felt him. He's not the same, but he is good. That he still managed to get me in a knee bar, and I knew he's good. In my notebook, I had him like when I'm on top, I need to watch out for his leg locks. But man, it was a crazy scramble. And I thought, I was like, this guy is hurt. I need to finish this guy. And when I got it out of it and I started like punching him in the ground, I felt him like going a little bit to sleep and waking up. And then I was like, I just choked this guy. And yeah, then he went to sleep.
And do you think you're a submission artist or a knockout artist? Because your last 5 fights, it's either a knockout or a submission. You got to pick one.
Yeah. I think I am like, I'm not saying I'm a grappler or a striker. I think I'm an MMA fighter. That's the new generation what we're talking about, because like I can like I knock people out and then go and submit them. I've done both. I've taken people down and submitted them. Usually what happens is like they try and take me down, I submit them, or like I hurt them and submit them. But like I think this is the new generation. I can do it all, and that's my aim. When I came to the Team KF, Chris Fields, he told me like I just wanted to strike, man. I love that understanding. He told me like you have great striking. Why you just wanna strike? And I've seen you grapple. Like you grapple very good. And I was like, yeah, but I just wanna like punch people and hurt people. And he was like, but imagine if you're good everywhere, like you are Adesanya, Habib, Islam, like those all in one. And then I started working on those things and showing in my fights now. I can strike, I can grapple. There's loads of things people haven't seen yet. That I can do, and I'm looking forward, man. I'm still 23, so I'm looking forward.
Well, I'm looking forward to. I'm very excited to cover you throughout your career in the UFC. I mean, it's going to be great. You have that amazing build. You're going to be great at that weight, and I'm excited to see you. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Balls Deep UFC podcast. Today we're going to be talking about UFC 303, a lot of the outcomes that came from it, a lot of things that different fighters will have the ability to do now. Afterwards, we're also going to talk about pound for pounds. The list changed a lot, and people are not super happy about it. I'm pretty happy with it, and Andy is too. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll also talk about this weekend, UFC Denver, Rose Namajuanas versus Tracy Cortez, that fight, and a couple other fights on that card. Let's get right into it with Ian Gary versus MVP.
Terrible fight.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it at all. I thought MVP, well, actually what I was about to say sounded stupid. I was about to say I thought MVP would do better, but it's difficult when someone's just trying to neutralize him on the ground.
Right. Well, MVP was saying the whole camp and beforehand all the pressers that he's going to turn Ian Gary into a wrestler.
Typical.
And that's what he did.
Yeah.
And Ian Gary wrestled him, and he kept him on the ground, and he couldn't earn any points or do any damage from the ground.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of just held him there, to be honest. He even had, he dropped guard into a leg lock, which is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen that in an MMA fight. And then he also, had, a front, body triangle, which was, neither group could do anything from that position. Kind of just held him down there, which is kind of bummy.
Even when he had him on his back, Ian Gary had MVP's back. He didn't do anything.
But I think that has more to do with MVP's defense.
Right. Which he was fighting well. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
hitting
no,
him.
everything he did was pretty darn good, I would say.
Yeah. That fight was kind of boring, though, and I'm upset.
Extremely.
And obviously, a lot of people don't like Ian Gary. I don't hate Ian Gary. I think he's talented.
It's more of a guy. It's more of like a personality thing, I think, for people hating him.
Yeah.
He's
the fight was boring.
He's an undeniably good fighter. Like, he's, 12-0 now? 15-0, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
He still has the O, which is incredible. And he's in the top of the division. Like, that happens rarely.
Yeah, it's a shame what that fight loss means to MVP, though. You know, he's old, coming from Bellator, beats Kevin Holland in, like, this huge debut. He's like, all right, if he beats Ian Gary now, he might be legit. He might get a title shot. Then he just gets, like, out-wrestled the whole fight.
Yeah, but I think people, like, realize that because it's
quickly.
not like Ian Gary, like, showed out, you know?
Right.
Like, MVP showed out in his last fight.
Against Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he came out, like, guns blazing. Like Ian Gary got popped multiple times. Like, it's not like it was an easy fight for him.
Right.
Like, he struggled. Like, he went to the floor for a reason.
Well, he couldn't strike with him.
At all.
MVP is a world-renowned striker.
No.
One
I'd say one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best. I don't know what's going to happen with MVP next. I'm excited to see.
I think anything he'll do would be exciting.
Yeah. And I think he can always find a way. If he just gets better at wrestling, not even wrestling, just defense.
But he doesn't – I don't think he, like, needs to necessarily get better at, like, wrestling because, I mean, he's, like – it's not like he's bad on the floor. It's that he'd rather keep it standing. Like, he does his best to get it standing at all times.
My thing is if he ever wants to touch gold, he's got to learn how to play some takedown defense. Like, Ian Gary can't maul you on the ground and keep you there.
But I don't think he got mauled.
Not mauled, but Ian Gary took him down with ease.
I guess.
And kept him down.
I guess you're
Like,
right.
that can't happen if he wants a title
Yeah.
in the UFC.
I mean, I don't know. What's his intentions, you know? Like, does he even want a title? Does he want, like...
It's just trying to get cash.
Yeah. Have a
Who
little
knows?
fun.
And he is old, so maybe he is just having a little fun, trying to make some money. But anyways, that fight, it's interesting to see what's next for those fighters. Ian Gary especially, I think now he's probably going to get a number one contender fight.
Hopefully,
with
Shavkat.
someone. Yeah, Shavkat. That'd be a big test. That weight class is fun. It'll be exciting to see. Next, probably the biggest fight of the night that wasn't the main event. Dan Ige stepping in 4 hours.
Ridiculous.
4 hours before the fight. He was getting a massage, and they called him to step in for this Diego Lopez fight.
That's like the shortest notice there's ever been.
Yeah, and he stood his ground.
Like a beast.
Like a beast.
He took it to the end. He didn't get finished on 4 hours notice. Like,
yeah.
You know, typically short notice fighters get rocked.
I mean, their endurance is probably trash. You know, you're
Horrible,
not training at all. And then out of nowhere, you're fighting the best prospect in the UFC, Diego Lopez. It was a great performance from Dan Ige.
It was awesome from both parties. You know, they both did great. Like, to even say yes, and he didn't only say yes, he asked for it. I saw, like, the text afterwards.
Right.
He asked for that fight, and that's like this guy deserves a lot more than he's been getting.
It's pretty badass for sure. And honestly, both fighters were winners after that fight. You know, Diego Lopez wins, gets his win, moves on, and he's probably going to get a fight this year now, whatever he wants. And Dan Ige literally will get whatever he wants.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably not the Ryan Garcia.
Maybe,
that she was thinking about.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think Dana wants that.
You never know, you know. Dana White could always change his mind. He brought CM Punk on.
Right. Ryan Garcia is crazy.
Yeah, he's ridiculous right now, but whatever. Like,
Dan Ige, Dana said he could have whatever he wanted, and Dan Ige tweeted out, I want Ryan Garcia at the Sphere, no takedowns allowed. And that's like his whole dream fight right now. I don't know if it'll go down, but it'll be exciting.
Great call out, though. I think that's an insane call out.
I mean,
in a good way.
Could do huge numbers.
It could.
But Dan Ige, I don't know if that's what he needs right now. Like, that's like what I think MVP would call out. You know what I mean?
Seriously? I mean,
kind of like a joke, won't get you anywhere closer to fighting for the championship belt.
But that's like I think he's going less for like the belt, and he's going more for like kind of like story building, you know? Because like Dan Ige is like 13 right now. It's not like he's gonna fight for the belt like tomorrow. Like, he needs at least two, 3 more fights.
Oh, he's ranked 13th?
Something like that, yeah. He's like, it's him and Diego Lopez. I think it's 13-14 or 14-15.
He won't move down. Like, the rankings
no,
won't
of course
change.
Not. They would not change. If he lost to Ryan Garcia, which I think is like
he'd get cut.
The world would blow up if that happened.
And here's my thing. If there's no takedowns allowed, Ryan Garcia might sleep him.
No. I disagree. I think I fully disagree.
Really?
Yeah, no, I think there's like no chance Ryan Garcia wins. Like, Ryan Garcia is like whatever, god boxer, like he's insane. But in MMA, it's a different sport.
And I do agree it's a different sport, but I think the speed Ryan Garcia has is unmatched in the UFC.
No. You could be right about that, but I think it's, Ryan Garcia only uses the top of his body. If he gets kicked anywhere, I think he'd start crying. Yeah.
And I forgot, no takedowns doesn't mean no
that
leg
doesn't mean
kicks.
no kicks, yeah.
Right, no kicks is tough.
Yeah, imagine getting kicked to the head.
Just like
for the
that,
first
it
time
would never
ever.
happen. It would never happen. Moving on, Diego Lopez gets the win. He'll probably get Brian Ortega again
I think that's what it reverts back to.
at the Sphere.
Which is like even bigger
Right.
than it was because they're both like Mexican descent.
More hype up too, more build up for that
100%.
fight. And here's the only thing though is Brian Ortega is looking to move up. So does he stay down for that fight, for that big payday against Diego Lopez?
But he was like the only thing I think of it is he was preparing for a move up. I don't think these options were available to him when he was thinking of moving
like
up.
the Sphere option.
The Sphere, Diego Lopez, like these were all short notice,
I mean, if he beats Diego Lopez, he gets the next title
Oh
shot.
yeah, 100%.
Does he skip Volk?
Maybe.
If he beats Diego
That's
Lopez
what
at the
DP
Sphere,
did. That's
he
what Dustin
might
Poirier
jump.
did.
Yeah, he might jump Volk.
Maybe.
After Volk's talking about fighting like some randos.
Yeah, we don't even know.
Who knows? Now, of course, the main event. The GOAT. Goatan.
Our goat.
Well, Alex Perez is our GOAT.
Yeah, that is true.
This is a different Alex P.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira
Alex P.
versus Jiri
You love Alex
Prohaska
P.
too. Alex Perez, you're my GOAT. Come on the podcast whenever you want, please. Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prohaska 2, the main event. Probably the biggest fight in Alex Pereira's career in the UFC. Just because what it means to him winning. Like, he wins this fight, now he's in the, second highest
Yeah,
pound
I
for
guess
pound?
him shooting up pound for pound is like a huge career. Because I was about to say, like,
Him beating Izzy.
I think him beating Izzy is like his biggest career.
Right. But, I mean, now he's in the GOAT
No,
debate.
you're right. He's top 3 pound for pound. Like, who's been there? Like, not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people. Has Izzy?
I think Izzy's probably been top 10. I mean, he had like 6 title defenses.
Who knows? But now, like, I see people tweeting about, like, Pereira's in, like, the top 10 all time.
I honestly agree.
Top
like,
6.
I mean, his resume still needs to like play out a little bit, like a couple more fights. I think if he beats like 2 more top contenders, like I think if he rematches Jamal Hill, beats him, and then if he beats Ankalaev easily. Well, Ankalaev comes first, I think.
Ankalaev has to happen.
Yeah, it's just like that guy he deserves it,
Yeah.
He's lost like once.
Unless Alex wants to try the heavyweight, then I think they let him.
I don't think so.
Bro, he's fought so much in this past year. Like, if he wants to, like, all right, I'll take a break and I'll go heavyweight,
But what would be the point,
he'd be the GOAT.
There's too much to unless it's for the belt.
Triple champ.
I think there's
First
too much.
ever.
You're right. The obviously, but what if he doesn't get a first belt fight? What if they let him get a feeler?
They wouldn't.
I think they would.
Bro, he's the second
about how
ranked
much
pound
time-
for pound fighter.
Think about how much time has to pass for him to get like a heavyweight chance. John Jones has to fight Stipe, and then after that happens,
No.
we have to find out.
What if they just say rinse John Jones, fight Aspinall? Or fight Blades? What if Curtis Blades beats Tom Aspinall?
But then Curtis Blades is going to say he wants the belt. John Jones has the belt. We got to assume John Jones isn't retiring after that fight, He's 35, which is crazy.
If he doesn't, he's got to fight Aspinall.
He has to.
And which then brings up the whole how long does Pereira have to wait? Because Pereira, if there's ever a chance that Aspinall versus Jones can happen, Pereira has to wait. He can't jump
No,
that.
like it's not even like his place. The matchmakers, they will make that happen.
Yeah.
Because even though sorry, I'm like blanking out right now. Alex Pereira is there. No, hold on, I gotta restart that. Like I just had like a fucking aneurysm. No, they just can't skip Tom Aspinall like that.
Right. For the real championship.
Yeah, no, they can't do that.
And they can't make him defend the interim belt twice.
I think he said he's not going to. He said I'm defending it once and then I'm going for the belt. The fact that he's defending it's crazy.
Right.
Who defends like a
Interim
an
belt.
interim belt?
Anyways, Alex Pereira versus Prohaska. Round 1 is all Pereira until the very last second when Pereira.
You mean Algieri?
Up until. No, you thought it was Algieri?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I said it wrong. It's all Pereira up even until the last second.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
Pereira hits him hard with the left, a classic, world famous left hand from Pereira,
Yeah.
drops him, saved by the bell. Jerry saved by the bell.
Crazy.
Then he comes out with this last second with this last-second strategy change from an Instagram post you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Like I saw because I love watching the coaches talk after. I think they're like so interesting, and I think his name's like Bilino Cruz. He was talking about how they saw the UFC actually posted like Jiri warming up, and he noticed that when they blocked like a low kick, he put his hands down, which is something Jiri does. Like, you know, everybody knows he blocks punches with his face, but like to change your plan like that in the warm up room.
After seeing the other guys,
That's pretty
warming
top dog
up.
stuff, you know.
Yeah. So, anyways, he changed his plan. He's like, all right, second round or whenever you can, come out with a head kick, high head
Switch kick, which is like, that's not even MMA.
Yeah. Pereira comes out. First strike of the second round is a switch kick to the head.
So
sleeps
awesome.
him over. Pereira's top 2 pound for pound.
Easily. The move up was like due though.
I don't know if he was supposed to move up over Jones. I'm still on the edge about that, but we did post a video about moving up past Leon. I think that's a lock.
No. If you know, we were actually talking about that ESPN and UFC have 2 different rankings. If Jones is in it, he's under Jones. But if Jones isn't in it, I think he's number 2.
Right. What's the balls deep UFC pound for pound rankings looking like?
It's got to be Islam number 1.
Islam number 1.
It's hard to not put Jones at number 2. Like ignoring the fact that like he hasn't fought in a year, he only beat one guy in this amount of time, like he's still active.
Really? For me, my pound for pound is Islam, Alex, then Jones, then Leon, then Ilya.
Nah, for me, Alex is number 3 because you can't be above Jones like that, you know.
He's fought so much in the last, 2
That's the thing.
years?
That brings up the question, like, what are we judging? What is the definition of qualifications for pound?
I think it's like, who's the pound for pound
Is it
best
career
fighter
or right now?
Today.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. Like,
Because there's the pound for pound list, and then there's pound for pound all time.
that's the thing.
No, it's not a thing, but that's what, like,
It's
two
it's
different-
conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, see, that's what's tough. Because, like, right now, if we're talking about right now, I would put John Jones at number 4.
Right.
I would do Islam, Alex, Leon,
Then
John Jones, then Ilya.
Ilya. The official balls deep pound for pound list is right here. It goes Islam, Alex Pereira, John Jones, Leon, then we're going Ilya at the 5. So Alex Pereira is the second best pound for pound fighter in the world right now.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Current, like, in the moment, like,
that's where he
right
should
now,
be.
it's for sure where he should be.
And if he gets his hands on the heavyweight belt, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, if he even tries for it. Like, honestly, if he even tries, if he takes the challenge.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, if he holds it down, if it's anything but a finish on his end, like if he doesn't get finished,
Goes to decision.
yeah, I think that's like a huge career
Yeah, he's
thing.
the GOAT. All right. Next up, UFC Denver. Rose Namajuanas, Thug Rose, our GOAT,
Beast.
our women GOAT.
Our women's GOAT. Nah, Kayla Harrison's our women's GOAT.
Zhang Wei Li.
Nah,
Kayla
Harrison's,
Harrison?
man, after her entrance, different weight classes.
She's so
though.
sick. All right, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That gives us the green light on having 2 GOATs.
Yeah, no, just Raquel Pennington as the champ right now, like that's tough. Like her fight was, in my opinion, very lame.
Kayla Harrison might be the GOAT women's fighter when it all comes.
When it all comes to it, because right now it's Zhang Wei Li, Alexa Grasso, and the champion is Raquel Pennington.
That's pound for pound women's.
No. This is like champs. There's 3 champs, 3 women
Right.
champs. And Raquel Pennington just, like, she had a boring ass fight. I think it was with, like, Mayra Bruna Silva.
No,
Yeah, that was, like, the title fight.
that was this past.
Mayra Bruna Silva fought, like, recently, yeah. But the title fight
okay,
that Raquel Pennington, like, won the belt in.
was against
Because
her.
remember,
Nunez.
Nunez left, then they did
Nunez is the GOAT. I take back what I said earlier about Harrison.
I don't know, dude. Kayla Harrison's a GOAT.
Never as good as Nunez. No way. I
Kayla
can't
Harrison's
agree with
my
that.
GOAT.
I can't agree with that. Kayla Harrison, please.
Or she's a beast.
No, man, Nunez is the GOAT. With Zhang Wei Li close behind her. She's sick.
Yeah,
We're not going to talk too much about women. We have 2 women to talk about. Tracy Cortez, Rose Namajuanas. We're going with Rose Namajuanas.
I think so. I think it's a great pick.
She's the veteran. I think she's been around longer.
More experience.
She's
trains
had the belt.
She
And
trains in the altitude.
She trains in the
That's
altitude. Rose Namajuanas, a couple other fighters, Cody Brundage fighting this weekend, all fight in Denver, train in Denver. And so they're kind of more what's the word?
Acclimated.
Acclimated to that altitude. You know, that 5,280 mile high city.
Ridiculous. That's like a huge thing. Like
In all
you
sports.
see him crumble. You see him crumble at the end of the fights.
In all sports, it's like, oh, we got to play in Denver.
Yeah.
Like a lot of athletes complain about it because the air's thinner. It's a lot higher up. You just get more tired. And so these fighters being more acclimated is going to be it's going to be a big advantage.
Gives a huge upper hand.
For sure. So we're going with Rose Namajuanas. We think she's the vet, and we're going to go with her. Another fight that card earlier. I think it's the first fight. Cody Brundage.
Not first fight of the night, but first of the main card.
Right, first of the main card. Cody Brundage is fighting. He also trains in Denver. He had this, and you were talking about it better, about his fight with Bo Nickel. I was like, oh, but he just got beat by Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is like the greatest wrestler of all time.
He's like, of course, like obviously the odds were he was like plus like 7,000. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that he stuffed a takedown, and people were like, in the beginning of the fight, people were saying like, whoa, like, what's going on? Like, this guy's not losing instantly.
Yeah.
And Bo Nickel even said like, damn, I thought it was gonna be easier.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Like, he got stuffed up.
He's got that one clip of him like just tossing Bo Nickel off of him.
Which is like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Even if it was just one, it was still pretty impressive.
Especially with what the odds were. The odds were ridiculous. Probably the craziest odds spread
I think it might have been like one of the biggest ever.
Yeah. And even Bo Nickel came out after the fight. He's like, I should have done better. Like, that was a bad performance. So we're going with Cody Brundage this weekend. We think that even though he's the underdog for this fight this weekend, and even though he was a big underdog in his last fight, he's got something that people still haven't really seen and that people are sleeping on. And I'm excited to see him fight this weekend.
For sure. I think he's got a lot more eyes on him, too, after that big fight.
Right. At 300. I mean, he fought at UFC 300.
It's kind of
main
ridiculous.
card.
Think about it. Cody Brundage was in the main card of UFC 300.
Alongside with, like...
Beast, though.
Like, yeah. Next up, the tightest line of the fight. It's pretty 50-50.
I think it was even.
Yeah, it's even. Drew Dober versus Gene Silva, as you say.
Gene.
John Silva, we're going to go with him. Does he train Colorado?
He probably trains in Brazil, but
he's a nerd. He's a fight nerd.
He's a fight nerd, yeah.
Right.
He just fought 2 weekends ago, though.
Right.
Which is huge. Like, that's crazy. Like, back-to-back fights.
I think it's good for him.
It is. I think it's kind of like a keep the ball rolling type of thing.
Right.
Like, why not?
Just doesn't feel nervous.
Yeah.
Ready for the pressure.
Drew Dober, though. Drew Dober was a tough opponent.
Crimson Chin.
Crimson Chin, and
have you seen that thing
he's got hard hands.
Have you seen that thing he's got in his head?
Huge.
I mean, makes his brain look small.
Nah, everything fits in there.
There's not much to fit. I'm just flaming him. Sorry, Drew Dober. I don't dislike you all that much. But Gene Silva, we're going to go with him. We think the fighting nerds are on a roll. They got a good team over there.
Team.
I'm excited to do the glasses, to see the glasses.
You see him finish him?
Yeah, it'll be cool. John Silva versus Drew Dober, probably the fight of the night.
I mean, yeah, he just came off like a spectacular win against Charles Jourdain. I think he KO'd him, right?
Yeah. The
uppercut was awesome.
Yeah, it was sick. So that fight's interesting. It'll be a good time. The cards these next 2 weekends are kind of boring.
A little bit. Double fight nights.
People
Whatever. In
don't like women
anticipation for
fighters.
what? In build up to the Sphere?
No.
It's 2 weekends, then what?
Then Manchester,
Ooh,
Aspinall,
you're
and
right.
Leon.
Damn, I'm pumped for that.
That'll be sick. So that card's interesting because Curtis Blades could beat Tom Aspinall. People are sleeping on him.
He could. I think he could. He was beating him last time before Tom Aspinall's leg blew up.
Right. Was that a doctor stoppage?
That was like a Tom Aspinall fell on
Draw?
the floor, started crying.
Draw?
I think it was a loss because he like kicked him.
Curtis Blades beat Tom
I
Aspinall.
think so. But like in the way he did, like everybody knows he didn't really win.
It was all Tom Aspinall until that kick.
Yeah. Tom Aspinall was like on the floor crying.
Like a Leon versus Bilal.
Kind of. But that was a no contest.
Yeah.
Because it was an eye poke.
Right. It'll be exciting to see Leon versus Bilal. I think if it goes to decision, I've been saying this the whole time. He deserves the title shot.
That's true.
10-0 in his last 10. And if it goes to decisions, Bilal Muhammad wins. If the fight isn't finished by Leon,
Leon's kind of like an overtime type of guy too. Like he takes it to the finish line
against Colby Covington.
against everybody. He like doesn't really have that many finishes.
I guess he just has that one with Usman.
But if you watch, like what I'm excited for is if you watch Bilal's fight with Leon, like Leon was beating his ass.
Yeah.
He was putting him on him.
Yeah.
He was like weirdly aggressive. So if he does that this fight, if he does that this fight and like comes out like guns blazing, like that would be pretty awesome.
People are glazing the fact that Bilal is training with Khabib. Do you think that's like a big deal?
Like, is it? Yeah, but like, is it gonna affect the outcome of the fight? Like Like not entirely.
He might just be a little bit better at wrestling.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Like
who knows?
Leon-
What if he taps him out?
Oh, I don't think Bilal even does that. Like I don't think he's like a ground type of guy.
Yeah. What is he kind of guy? Who knows?
Yeah.
Did you see his Joe Rogan podcast views?
That was old though. That was like a repost. I realized that after.
Really?
I was like, oh, I mean, even though it got no views, it was recorded a long time ago, and Joe Rogan's uploading them on YouTube now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. Joe Rogan's got like 18 million followers. Here comes the Bilal Muhammad interview, 1,400 views.
Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense.
So brutal. So brutal.
But whatever.
Whatever. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week.